Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is an updated everyday makeup tutorial. Think about the kind of makeup that you can use for work, for school, and even for events. That one. Let's get right into the video. First and foremost, skin prep. But of course, I already did that off camera. Guys, please make sure you do your skin prep before you do the next thing, and that is the primer. And like I always say, please make sure you choose the right primer for your skin type. If you have an oily skin, I will advise you use a mattifying primer. If you have a combination or a dry skin, then you can use a moisturizer that is hydrated. In all you do, ensure your primer doesn't get around your under eye because you want your under eye to remain moisturized and hydrated. Next up is foundation, and I'll be using this one from Huda Beauty. This foundation has very full coverage. I did not use more than 1.5 pumps for this makeup, and can you guys see that coverage? That's covered every blemish on my face. Make sure you also choose a foundation that suits your skin. I have an oily skin, so I would usually use a mattifying foundation, and this one from Huda Beauty, Chef's Kiss. If you want me to recommend foundations for you or for your skin, for your different skin types, you can leave a comment in the description box and I will do just that. Again, make sure you choose a foundation that suits your skin and that matches your skin tone and undertone. Just like having a good skin prep, having a good foundation will also determine the overall outcome of your makeup. After foundation is blush, and I'll be using those two shades from this palette. I like this particular blush palette because it is blendable and it doesn't just sit on the skin. You need blush because you want pop of color. After applying the foundation, the face looks a bit flat, so you want to bring life and color back to the skin. So I highly recommend blush. It is so good. And if you have an oily skin, this is the time you want to do your blush. Applying your creamy blush after applying the powder could lift and ruin your whole makeup. So except you want to use just powder blush, but if you are using a cream blush, now is the time to use it when you still have cream products on. Still on creamy products, next up is contour, and I use this dark shade of concealer from Avo Cosmetics. Honestly guys, normally I would use a shade that is darker than this, but the thing did not just occur to me. I already applied it before I saw in the mirror that it was almost an exact shade. So don't be like me. Make sure you use a shade or two that is darker than your skin. You need contour because you need to bring back dimension and definition to the face. Contour will give you an illusion of depth, with the shadow it provides. It also helps the appearances of the whole makeup by making your nose smaller, your jawline more defined, and just sculpt features and slimmer appearance. Next up is concealer. I used two concealers in this video and I will state my reasons subsequently. The first one is this one from Sylvie Mark and it's in the shade apricot. I particularly like this concealer because it is blendable and it doesn't dry down very fast. So I will advise you leave it to get tacky a bit before you apply it. If not, to just be as if you are rubbing it off with your beauty blender as you blend. You need concealer to cover your dark circles, blemishes, hyperpigmentation, and everything you want to cover basically. I use this around my under eye obviously and areas where I want more highlight, and then you just blend away. use setting spray between makeup application because it helps the makeup to last long, and it also prevents creasing or smudging. After that, I go in with a brighter concealer. And that's because I discovered my under eye and the bridge of my nose were not bright enough. Because just like the name highlight, right? It was not looking like it was highlighted, so I went in with a brighter concealer. Now that we are done with the application of creamy product, next is to set everything in place. Setting will help you to lock everything in so that it doesn't move or shift all through the period you want it to last. One tip is to make sure that you do not apply your setting powder directly. Make sure you swirl it at the back of your hand to like dust off the excess ones before you apply it to your face. That will give you a very neat coverage and application. After this, you can go ahead and bake if that is what you want. You also make sure you also set every other place that you have applied creamy product. I'm talking about the contour, the highlight, your blush, and every other place that you applied foundation. this is an everyday makeup tutorial, so we are not trying to do anything too glamorous. I used the leftover concealer from my eyebrows. I applied them on my eyelid and I just blended. I also went ahead to set it with my setting powder. Then I contoured. Nothing too much. You can use a brown eyeshadow or even a darker shade of your powder that you use, or even your bronzer. Just use it on your outer crease. Just, you know, use it to contour your outer crease, and that is all. However, if you want eyeshadow, you can go ahead and apply eyeshadow. Then you apply your mascara on your upper lashes, and if you want it, your lower lashes. This will help to define the eye area, and it will also, add life to your eyes. I also made a small wing liner to again define the eye area and make the eye area look more alive. Next is to powder my face and dust off excess setting powder, and just to lock the rest of the makeup in place. And I use this powder from Northern Beauty. It's a Nigerian brand and their powders are so good. Then I set the whole of my face with a setting spray. The last step for this makeup is to use a fixing spray. Guys, this will help your makeup to last for as long as you want it to last. It will put everything in place, and I tell you, nothing will move. If you have an oily skin and you really want a mattifying makeup, then I will recommend this particular one. It is called Jola's and it is from V Beauty Cosmetics. That was just me telling you guys to look at my makeup and get into the skin. Guys, look at the way it looks like my skin, and that is because of skin prep and every other thing that I did. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I love you. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.